The other companies, Xbox 360, they did a good show last year, but they did a good show, and if I didn't mention before, I do in fact own and play an Xbox 360, I just don't talk about it much. There were too many stereotypically macho first-person shooters at their E3 media briefing last year, and they did counterbalance that with the Kinect things, but they need to, I don't know, if I'm just going to see a bunch of stereotypical, realistic, shiny four-headed shooters with Space Marines, I don't know, it doesn't stand out to me so much. I want to see the Xbox is going to put out a good show. Sony's show, there's rumors of them at least discussing a new system. Microsoft, if Microsoft discuss a successor to the Xbox 360, it's going to be like Nintendo at E3 2005 when they showed the Revolution. They're at most going to officially acknowledge that we are making a new system. That's the most I expect. Like Nintendo at E3 2000, they came out with an empty plastic shell with a blue light in it and said, "Here's the Revolution. We're working on it, and it's going to change everything," and so forth. They did not. It was not the systems coming out party. E3 2011 will not be the Xbox 720's coming out party. Theoretical name, by the way. Yeah, I really don't expect it to a new Xbox to be a major. A big show it will be mentioned at the most, I believe, or maybe shown a bit, but it won't be the year of the new Xbox. PlayStation 3, Sony's media briefing. I did not get to see Sony's media briefing live. If the schedule is anything like last year, I will miss out on seeing Sony's in order to see Nintendo's, but I will record it at home, which I did not think to do last year, so maybe I could watch it once I get back to my house. But last year, where was The Last Guardian? Where was that? I thought they're really going to save that for the end. Where's The Last Guardian? I want to see The Last Guardian. At E3 2009, that was, along with, what was that? Along with Mod Nation Racers. The Last Guardian was something that really stuck out for me. And I want to see more of that. I'm surprised they didn't show it last year. I'm surprised they did not bring that out. And as I mentioned before, there was a Kevin Butler ad where directly addressing and denying the stereotype that the PlayStation 3 was just a bunch of M-rated macho first-person shooters, and they had a good selection of family games too. I expect to see a few things along those lines, because really, to me, the PlayStation 3 is the first system that had that reputation and sort of to a small extent lived up to it. There was a lot more. There was now in this generation, you think of the Wii as being the system with a lot of the cartoony franchise platformers and the kiddie, you could say, or colorful more stuff. The PlayStation 3, they had a lot. The key to the PS2's success was the variety of games. I think Sony and from first and third party, I think we're going to see a bit of a more deliberate and noted push in that direction a bit. And Ubisoft. Ubisoft. Let me say, for all of E3, for all of the E3 presentations, I really hope that Shawn White isn't on the invite list for any of them. Shawn White, he helped, it was just the banana peel at the beginning of E3 2008 that Nintendo slipped on and just slid on their butt through the entire press conference in 2008. He really, was that 2008? Yeah, it was 2008. And in 2010, he was a joke at Ubisoft's media briefing. Come on. They pull out a bunch of boxes. They're sitting on soap crates, like I am. They're sitting on boxes and chatting it up like they're on Oprah, talking about there's this silly biking game where you fly around through the air like some sort of collision detection area. They turn into a gameplay mechanic. I don't want to get Shawn White. Just stay home. Stick to the slopes. Stay off the stage at E3, for everyone's sake. And Ubisoft's media briefing. They had Child of Eden. They started out with Child of Eden last year, and then they had, Assassin's Creed. I'm not big into that. They showed the new Rabbids game. That made me rage, because I thought Rabbids Go Home at E3 2009 meant that they would go home and stay there, and that was the end of the series. But they have an interesting looking platformer on the 3DS that is not a minigame Waggle Fest from what I've seen. It looks like an interesting platformer. Then we have at E3, we're going to see there's probably going to be a new Rabbids game. Whatever, I surrender. Rayman Origins, we saw it last year. And that stupid host guy, he was some comedian or someone, I don't care who he is, but some celebrity they hired. He did not feel genuine, he did not feel real to me. He did not feel like a fellow gamer. And he was, Assassin's Creed, oh yeah, it was some shooter they showed off. He was all engaged. Then they showed Rayman Origins, and he's like, yeah, whatever, next game. He didn't care at all about Rayman Origins, and that was wrong. That was incorrect. They should have had an earpiece, like whoever at Ubisoft. Hello, you have to be excited. It is Rayman Origins. People have been waiting for this. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I'll clap when they show another brown first-person shooter. So, excuse me, my attempted French accent there. Sorry if I offended anybody, either by my French stereotype or by my horrible voice acting. But anyway, Rayman Origins, I want to see more of, and I want to see it. When I saw that, I was thinking, I do not expect that to be on the Wii. This is especially being Rayman Origins, from what I heard last year, is going to be an online game, not an online game, but like a episodic game, like a Strong Bad School game for attractive people, whatever that's called, or Sonic the Hedgehog 4. It's going to be an episodic downloadable game, and I did not expect that to be on the Wii. I'm not even sure. Could the Wii handle Rayman Origins? I mean, Kirby's Epic Yarn looks absolutely gorgeous, but Rayman Origins, it may not look it, but if you look at that in HD, that is a gorgeous game. That is one of the games that all too often, and especially in this generation, good graphics are defined purely by making everything brown. Making everything as brown and gritty and dark as possible. And not to say that realistic games there's anything wrong with them, but too often progress in graphics is judged purely in terms of realism. Rayman Origins looks absolutely beautiful, and I would love to. I don't have an HD set yet. I still have a CRT in my living room actually, but I want to see. I'd like to get an HD set if I could get my hands on one, and just for Rayman Origins. That game is absolutely gorgeous. If you have not seen a full HD trailer for Rayman Origins, the trailer that was shown last year, watch it. It looks great. I'd say it is one of the best looking games of this console cycle. I'd love to see that on the 6-home console. I'd love to see that on the 3. But if even as far as last year, there was talk of Rayman Origins appearing on the Nintendo 3DS, and having that on the 3DS as a downloadable game, not having to carry a card around, you could have Rayman Origins and some other game with you without having to carry additional gear with you. That would be a great match. Seeing that game in 3D, if they can make it look as nice as the trailer that I saw last year for the HD home systems, if they can make Rayman Origins look perfect on the 3DS, I will definitely buy that on the 3DS. That game will be stupendous on the 3DS just for looks alone. That sums up what I want from this year's E3. Oh yeah, Ubisoft. I almost forgot. Beyond Good and Evil 2, where is it? Everyone who, Beyond Good and Evil 2, that game got a raw deal. That came out on all 3 systems and the PC last generation. And it was sort of the print ads I saw for it. It made it look like a Metal Gear Solid wannabe. The print ads did not make it look interesting. I played Beyond Good and Evil based on the recommendation of a friend, and he just said, play that game. From the first battle you will be hooked. And I played that game, and from the first battle on I was hooked. And this is way back in 2003 or 4, and my mother was actually in the kitchen when I was playing it, and I played like the first hour of the game. I didn't, and I stopped playing, and I came out of the kitchen like, hey mom, what's up? And she's like, could you put that movie back on? What movie were you watching? It's like, no, that wasn't a movie. That was a video game. That was a Beyond Good and Evil excellent game. That game. It's like I said, my mom heard it in the not seeing the screen and thought I was watching an animated film. The voice acting was great, the action was great, and that was a game where the presentation was spot on. That was a game where the coolest moments in the game, the coolest looking moments in the game, the most awesome looking moments in the game weren't cutscenes. They weren't little action sequences like press A or jab the joystick left, little Shenmue style or Resident Evil 4 style interactive cutscenes. The coolest moments in the game, you were in full control, and that was unique. But I guess because it had anthropomorphic animals in it, because it wasn't really it wasn't overtly cartoony, it wasn't gritty and realistic. It was sort of hard for people to look at it. It was hard for people to connect to. I guess it wasn't. The timing wasn't right, I suppose. But since then we've had word of Beyond Good and Evil 2. Then it got canceled supposedly. Then we saw a very interesting teaser trailer, some sort of footage before E3 2009 of someone who we only see from behind, who we could assume to be not Paige. Paige is the pig. Her name was Shawnee. Shawnee was her spirit name thing, and her name was Jade. It was a video of someone that could almost be Jade, running through a South American sort of village-looking area, jumping over on awnings and climbing through apartments, and it looked kind of like a cross between Prince of Persia and Assassin's Creed. It was an interesting looking game, but you could see the cows were they were alien beasts that were analogous to cows. So you could tell it wasn't on Earth. And then we saw another trailer. I don't know if it was before or after, where we saw Paige and Jade broke down on the side of a highway, and Paige sucks a fly into his nose or something, and it's just a teaser trailer. And then in E3 2010, we saw nothing, not a mention of it, and the people, and I was watching the coverage on G4, and people were like, whoa, where's Beyond Good and Evil? At least tell us it exists, don't leave us hanging. I want that to be the big thing. Not in of course we're going to see maybe something Assassin's Creed, Tom Clancy game or something, but I want to see Beyond Good and Evil 2. That would be an excellent game for E3 2010. So beyond anything else, the one title, if I could have any one title that hasn't really been shown yet, out of all the companies, I want to see Beyond Good and Evil 2. And that's it. That's my E3 2011 prediction and expectations, and thank you very much for watching.